I'm challenging that. Is that going to work? No, great. Have a great day. We're going to move on, right? It's very simple, but self-integrity and standing up for yourself isn't really taught anymore, is it? Right? So the value of that, another way to say that, the value of that is rising exponentially, right? The value of men and women being ballsy is rising exponentially, not from an ego standpoint, but from a standpoint of, hey, like I've been doing this for the better part of 2 decades, okay? So whatever your opinion on this is, your opinion is not the same as mine, correct? So what do you want to do here with this situation? It's your choice, right? But there's only one avenue here. There's one window I have to work with you if you want to, and if not, whatever.
Mhm.
But
How do
people
you,
don't have that, They just don't have that. They don't have that feel anymore because they're scared. Right when they need to be
right?
most courageous and abundant, they're scared and they're going down into this hole.
I think that in general, most people are about, let's say they're looking for their next job. Let's say they're not unemployed.
Yeah,
And currently they're in a job. Let's say what you're saying is something that needs to be done all of the time. It's not only when I'm looking for my next challenge, right?
ideally,
Is
yeah,
elaborating, right?
yeah,
So let's say that right now I want to change jobs.
yes,
It most people would be very anxious about doing that. And would they get a better position? Would they be better off where they are? They're
yes,
comfortable, and what you're saying about fear. It really makes sense. Most people would fear that change, and they need um, people need to trust them in the new place. They
yeah,
need to be right now where they are. Most people would say, okay, everybody knows me. They know what I'm giving. I know how much I'm getting paid. I might get a leadership position. So why would I change? Most people would be very anxious about changing, right?
Well, all of those things you've listed are can just as much be a limiting factor for you because, like you said, they've known you from day one. So that means no matter how much training you've taken in those years or how exponentially your value has increased, you're still fighting a battle in some sense with your own first impression, right? So they're like, no matter how well you did, it's like, look, we gave a chance on you, dude. You know what I mean? Like relax, relax on that growth plan. Even if you were like literally if you were out there, and this is why I think it's important to do some of this, even if I would say 10 to 15% of your day should be spent on advancing your own career interests at a minimum, right? It should not be spent 100% giving it up to some freaking boss because you have no one to blame at that point, right? So if you were in that situation and you hadn't like sort of just sunken into the Kool-Aid of that one company, then you wouldn't need 5 years to reach that point. In 1 year, a year and a half, 2 years, you'd realize, hey, you know what? I've been doing all of this thing here based on the pain that I've been identifying, based on even some of the pro bono consulting I've been doing out there. I can tell you right now that people are getting paid 3 times more than I have for the exact same role. So the conversation I'm having with my boss is not a promotion conversation. You understand? The conversation I'm having is here's what the industry looks like. Here's what's happening at company X, Y, and Z. I'd like to know, despite what everything we were talking about, why is it that the compensation here is in no way completely out of whack with what's going on in the industry, right? It's not personal if you understand what the real data points are, right? If you have things beyond your ego and your insecurity to argue from, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. You've always got to have your eye there. You've always got to have a little bit of a sense there. Look, part of the reason I'm in the position I am is also I've hated authority my entire life. I love individuals. I cannot stand people who bloviate in that way. So I like to do things my way. I like to have that say. And I will tell you, doing a little bit of this, even if you have the most like you're the happiest you are at your company, doing at least a little bit of this is the way to keep them honest because in some sense you don't know. I was working with someone at Goldman Sachs who had spent her entire career there. She's the managing director there right now. Before she was promoted to that, she was having a compensation discussion with members of her team, including a guy there who was about 5 years his junior. And she finds out, looking at what he was making, that she was making exactly that same amount. And she spent her entire career there. So when she brought it up, oh my gosh, Adi, it's a clerical error. I'm so sorry about that.